There once was a man named Gold Roger who was king of the pirates. He had fame, power, and wealth beyond your wildest dreams. Before they hung him from the gallows, these were the final words he said.
Our perspective is yours for the taking, but you'll have to join us first. We left everything we debated at the Yonkō Table.
Ever since, pirates from all over the world set sail for the Grand Line, searching for the Yonkō Table, the table that will make their dreams come true. Yo, everyone. The Yonkō Table is back in session. We just did West Side Story last night, but we have to come back on again for Hawkeye, episode 5. And we're going to get straight into the big reveal because we're not going to save that till the end. We don't care if it was at the end. We're going to jump straight into it. But before we do, as always, with me, along with DrJaceAttorney, Yonkō host, his fellow Yonkō, GrandMasterHoop. Grandmaster's already got the reveal behind him. He's a step ahead of the game.
When I was a boy, I can't do it.
I'm waiting for the monologue. It's going to happen next week.
Mr. Murdoch. Mr. Barton, I want to thank you for saving us from the aliens. But this is my city. I don't know. Forget it.
Vanessa.
We're here.
Vanessa.
Tracksuits.
What do you think of the reveal? Like, was it? Well, what's the big reveal?
Okay, the big reveal is that's the guy who I've been talking about this whole time. Kingpin. And he says the name Kingpin. And it's Kingpin. And in the credits, Vincent D'Onofrio, there's his name in the credits. And then that last shot in the credits, it's the silhouette. It's like Hawkeye on this side and Kate on this roof. And it's a silhouette of Kingpin. They're in his shadow.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Oh, yeah. It's a cool little one. Yes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's Kingpin. How do I feel about it? I mean, we already predicted it was him.
I predicted it.
You were the first. Were the first.
With the breadcrumbs that we had in episode 3 in my hand. One day I'm gonna remember to like have it right next to me so I could showcase that bad boy. But with my handy dandy Marvel encyclopedia, I was able to connect the pieces together along with Echo and Kingpin and realize, wait a minute, all I needed was that chuckle from episode 3. And I'm making a stand. I'm making the claim. This is Kingpin.
Right.
I'm happy. It feels so good when you got a Marvel theory that gets confirmed. It's nice.
It does. I mean, they could have easily done a fake out, but no, it's him. Did I like how they revealed it? It was like
I think they could have done it better. Like,
yeah,
more bombastic. I don't know. I felt like they kind of were just like a CCTV footage. Like, oh look, there he is. That's him.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't him on screen. We watched him on a screen of a screen. Shoot, you had to kind of like glance at it twice to like, is that Vincent D'Onofrio in that photo? And well, his name is in the credits. So yeah, I would have liked like an entrance, maybe someone knocks out Hawkeye and it pans up from the feet. Welcome to my world, Mr. Barton. You know,
I would have loved that.
Right.
That's what I was expecting.
Right. So I can only imagine come the finale, he's gonna play a major role. Because for him to sit on the sidelines, the first 5 episodes, he's got to come in and wail into somebody. And for him to only appear in the finale, there's no way he's being easily defeated to where he's back in prison or something.
Oh yeah. I mean, wasn't that the state that we left him in though? In
right.
Daredevil?
Yes. We talked about this. In Daredevil, he went to prison because Matt Murdock said, I'm going to come after Vanessa if you don't, take the fall here.
Right.
They got some explaining to do.
They do. They
They got some explaining to do.
Oh man. I'm hoping like it's an actual continuation from like the Netflix series, and
Right.
not just, oh well, I mean, everyone already sees Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. Let's just cast him as our MCU Kingpin and not worry about,
So like a
anything.
soft reboot.
Kind of like a soft reboot with the same actor because he did such a good job as him. Why recast it and just piss people off? I'm hoping that's not it.
I hope that's not it either.
Right, because I want this to be a continuation. I want it to relate back to the tomfoolery that happened with Daredevil.
Yes.
Plus, also, you mentioned it earlier. He called him Kingpin.
He called him. Yeah.
That's such a huge. Some of you guys some of our listeners might not see that as a big deal. One of the criticisms a lot of people had, myself included, I had this problem with the Netflix Marvel series. So that included, shows like Daredevil, Punisher, Jessica Jones, and we don't worry about the other two. But in those shows, something was in the writer's room where they knew they were a Marvel show, but they were very ashamed of the Marvel roots. They didn't want to jump into that campy comic book territory. They wanted to remain grounded in reality. So that's why, like, for example, in Daredevil, Matt Murdock doesn't have the Daredevil suit for most of his run throughout all 3 seasons.
Actually, yeah, he only wears season 2 is the only season where he wears it throughout the whole season.
That's it. He's dressed up as the Masked Man throughout most of his run as Daredevil. And with Kingpin, they specifically, throughout all the shows, there was a name drop of Kingpin like once in a while, like, oh yeah, he is the Kingpin. But aside from that, they always called him Wilson Fisk. And I think that's a product of the Netflix series always trying to remain grounded in reality. Like, realistically, you're not going to call some normal, drug lord head honcho, oh, he's Kingpin. He's the Kingpin. No, you're just going to call him by his name. So that was the reality that I think the Netflix series tried to stay in to its detriment, whatever. But here in MCU territory, no, that's a title, baby. That is Kingpin, and they better keep calling him Kingpin with occasional, Wilson Fisk name drops here and there. That's just my take. I wanted to throw that out there. I think it's very important that they called him Kingpin and not just Wilson Fisk again.
I think that's a fair point. I was just looking it up. Yeah, I don't think they ever refer to him by Kingpin. They just make nods to it, whether it's like he's the Kingpin of crime, or when Ben Urich was doing his investigation, he puts a king of diamonds on his little investigation board. But other than that, yeah, I really don't recall them calling him by the name Kingpin. So again, they got some explaining to do, because Daredevil ended in what, 2018?
Was it 20? Man, that's some time ago. Was it 2018 or 2019? 2018.
I want to say 2018.
2018. I think that like December 2018 it dropped.
October 2018.
October.
So if it is a continuation, that's 5 years. That's 5 years that if the Kingpin does not get blipped away, which I guess he didn't, because as Hawkeye stated, he was used by the Kingpin as a weapon and pointed in the direction of Maya's father. So that's 5 years, maybe Wilson Fisk accumulated the name Kingpin officially,
Well, also, that's assuming, because we don't know when the Marvel Netflix series, I'm just going to refer to Daredevil specifically, but this can be extended to the other series as well. We don't know what time period these shows took place in relation to the MCU. We're led to, because again, it's a product of its time. They never referenced anything outside of the Battle of New York in all of the Netflix Marvel shows, and they would be very loose interpretations of when the aliens came, and that's it. Or if they were referring to the Hulk, they'll say the big green guy, and that's it. They never refer to anything else beyond like the Sokovia Accords, anything from, obviously nothing from like Infinity War or anything, but like nothing about Wakanda or developments in the world that tie back into the MCU. Nothing. So it makes you wonder, so when exactly do these shows take place, if they are indeed going to be canon to the MCU? Like if Kevin Feige's going to nod his head in agreement and say, yes, with these characters from the Netflix series, they will start integrating them into the MCU. What does that mean about their shows? When did they take place? Because you're saying, well, maybe 5 years since we last left Daredevil, assuming season 3 ended in 2018. Maybe season 3 took place in 2013, a year after the Battle for New York.
You know what? That's a really good point. I didn't think about it, because when did Daredevil come out? 2015?
2015, yeah.
Right. And then I don't think many years have passed between the seasons. So
right.
It's a good point. They got some backtracking to do. They want to incorporate them right while sticking to the integrity of those series as a whole. They got to, they got to do this right. They got to make it make sense. So we'll see what they do. I guess, the finale will, show us if they're doing a soft reboot or if they're going to really try to kind of right the wrongs that they committed here by,
for sure,
not acknowledging the Netflix series. So we'll see. We shall see.
We will see. We only have one episode left. Do we have a confirmation on how long that episode is? Is it an hour?
We don't. But I really hope they pull out all the stuffs for this one. I really hope so.
No, they have to. They got a lot to wrap up. I'm still not invested in Echo. There 5 episodes in with Echo. If you still haven't convinced me, then likely you're not going to convince me in the finale, because right now you got the big star, you got Vincent on the field.
It's kind of, it's like you didn't give us much to care for, and now here's someone we've been clamoring for. So now we're really not going to pay attention to her.
Exactly. I mean, she might have something going on, because like what we basically established, Kingpin was involved in her father's murder. He's the one that hired Ronin back then to kill her father. So maybe there might be a confrontation with, Echo and Kingpin, and whatever that interaction is, that'll make her more interesting. But I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, is that you bring in a character like Kingpin. You have a character like Maya. Kingpin is established from the Netflix series. He's not established with anybody in this series as far as a viewer is concerned. If we're given a fight between Maya and Kingpin, is that something earned as far as a viewer's perspective? Are we going to be invested in that fight? And honestly, I'm going to be like, no, because 1, we haven't even seen you interact to begin with. And then 2, it's just kind of, it would feel like shoehorned. Even Kingpin versus Hawkeye, that doesn't feel earned yet. He just got here. I don't want to see him go up really against anybody. I like that he's here and he's playing, the big bad, but nothing is earned yet. His name alone is him earning, but now we need to see what they do with his name.
He needs to do something, like it can't just be like an ending for season 1 where he's defeated or whatever, because we've been alluding to just his reveal the entire season. So now that he's revealed and he's going to get a proper introduction next week, you can't just get rid of him after that.
Exactly. Which I guess, maybe the Maya series will be a segue for more of the Netflix characters to come through. Maybe Kingpin will be the central figure in the Echo series.
It could be.
And then, through that would feel more deserving. But he's got to make big waves come the finale. And if he can't deliver, you're gonna still have people happy overall. But it's like, It's like y'all could have done better with this. Come on.
I think people will be left satisfied knowing that just his presence alone, kind of like what you've been saying already, it opens the door for all these other characters, because now you're wondering, well, if he's here, where's everyone else? You know, and I feel like it should be mentioned because, you know, I know back then when those shows were in development, it was always assumed that they were canon to the MCU. And I think even Kevin Feige somewhat acknowledged them in the beginning, saying that, you know, yes, these characters are part of the MCU. But I think as time went on, he kind of distanced himself from acknowledging them.
Yes.
And you can see it in the shows themselves where they don't reference stuff from the MCU. So it was always a gray area. Are these shows still in that time frame? Are they still part of that canon? So now seeing Wilson Fisk, Vincent D'Onofrio here, it opens the door. Like, you know, I want to see my boy Daredevil. I want to see, I always forget his name, but Punisher.
The actor?
The
John
actor,
Bernthal?
yeah. Bernthal, right?
Bernthal, yeah.
Bernthal. I want to see Bernthal in here. Jessica Jones, fine.
Yeah, no, Jessica Jones
Everyone.
is good. They're a package deal. I mean, if you want to incorporate, if you're gonna bring in the lore of the Netflix series, they're all part of it because they have established their continuity and their connectivity. So it's one, you can't bring one and not the other. So
Exactly. So I mean, yeah, we've been harping on Kingpin, a guy that made his reveal in the last 5 seconds.
I mean, hardly a reveal, a confirmation more.
A confirmation, basically a leaked footage.
Right.
And he's here when we had 40 plus minutes of content before that.
We did.
Eleanor is working with Kingpin.
I mean, I imagine again, this is the person she's been on the phone with in the beginning of the series.
Right.
You know, we have a problem. Don't know what's going on. Again, a lot can happen in the blip. Clearly Kingpin was around. Eleanor, I think, was around. She didn't get blipped away. So,
you're saying that Kingpin was not blipped?
No, he was around. Kingpin was around because he hired Ronin.
Right.
So he could have been making many establishments when maybe certain higher powers that kept him in prison got him out, and now he's,
Ooh.
Right.
Maybe
and now
with the blip, that's how the transition that we're talking about. That's how he was able to get. Oh, okay. How he got out of prison. Okay.
And actually, you know what?
I could buy that.
A company like Bishop Security, is that what it is?
Yeah, Bishop. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Sounds like they would have insight on a lot of corporate security, and this is how this dude rises to power. He knows all the secrets, and he's able to, manipulate scenarios in his favor. Sounds like this is the company he would want under his thumb. But yeah, Eleanor seems like mighty comfortable talking to this dude. I mean, from that one photo, but
right. I mean, Eleanor's been fishy this
very
whole
fishy
season. I mean, I don't know. I buy that she cares about Kate, and that's her daughter. Obviously, she cares about her, but I don't know. Just certain interactions she has, the way she says certain things, even with what happened in today's episode, where Kate basically informed her about the company that Jack Duquesne is the CEO of, and she didn't really seem too shocked by the reveal. Like, she was like, okay, I'll look into it, Kate. And Kate didn't even notice that either. Like, bad writing. I don't know.
Maybe it's her mother, that she's like not thinking her mother could possibly be part of some evil corporate espionage,
right,
or crime affiliation, to where it's like, oh, it's just my mother, like, looking like that. But hey, if you're trying to be an Avenger, Kate, you need to
Open
Nobody's
your
safe.
eyes.
Open your eyes, right? Ain't nobody safe out here. Okay, because then Jack gets arrested, and he's so nonchalant. I don't know anybody named whatever the company's name was. Sloan. I knew a girl named Sloan.
If you knew a girl named Sloan, isn't that a name of a? Oh, maybe I think of a different character.
No, there's a girl named Sloan in some popular media that I cannot remember.
I can't.
Either way, the fact is,
sure.
It was a nonchalant arrest. She's not over here like she doesn't look shocked at all.
She's just like, all right, bye. Do we
right,
think Jack
right.
is in on it, or
Jack is so in on it? Jack is in because, and again, they keep alluding to the sword master that Jack is. He's got to be back for the finale, I hope.
At this point, you can make a reveal on who Jack is in the last episode. I feel like I'm not gonna care. Like,
at this point, you're absolutely right.
Because clearly something's going on with him, but for the reveal to be in the final episode, I'm like, okay, but do I care anymore?
Yeah, it's a little too late, because then it's just gonna seem like kind of a rushed affair,
right?
Because it's either like, okay, you revealed yourself. Are we gonna have a one-on-one where you go to jail or run away, or you beat me and you come back for season 2? But that's really it. We don't get to see more character interaction between the big reveal and Kate, and like, I knew it, and you see that back and forth. And also there isn't much back and forth between them other than like, he's a bad dude, Mom. No, he's not. I'm a good guy. That is the only interaction between them. We haven't had any in-depth anything.
No, so, I agree.
So I don't even know if I care about Jack anymore.
I don't know. I maybe was caring about him the first 3 or 4 episodes when the mystery was still focused on him. But again, you have these more interesting characters getting introduced. You have Kingpin now. You have whatever Echo's got going on with Kingpin as well. And not only that, you also got Yelena Romanov. Wait, is their last name Romanov as well? No.
I don't know. No, Belova.
Yelena Belonov.
Belova.
Belova. She's here, and she is in her typical Yelena glory. She's acting and behaving the same way that she acted in Black Widow, which I'm all for. She's great. Yeah. It's hilarious. I did like the scene a lot with her and Kate in her apartment, where they're just talking it out,
right?
Trying to figure out, do you really know Clint? Do you really? Which, it's funny that she says that, because at the end of the day, Yelena doesn't know Clint either. Nope. Because
Natasha hasn't talked to her, and based on the movie, which the movie takes place in 2016, they hadn't talked to each other for years. So there's no way she knows about Clint. From Natasha's
Black Widow was in 2016?
Yes, because Black Widow takes place after Civil War.
Oh, that's right.
Right. So,
okay.
The only thing she knows about Clint is what she's seen on TV about the Avengers. But
you don't think Natasha would have told her about Clint?
But that was the only interaction they had.
But wait, they never saw each other after in between.
It is implied at the end of Black Widow that she's off to Infinity War.
Wow.
She's at least off to be on the run with Steve and Sam and Wanda.
Right.
So, You don't know Clint. And that's actually one of my problems with this whole thing. I was talking to Darce about this. Remember Allegra DeFontaine, the Madam Hydra who hired her?
Yeah.
Well, again, I guess it goes down the rabbit hole that Kingpin hired Allegra, and then in return hired Yelena or sent Yelena to go kill Hawkeye. So it's all a domino effect. I think that's how the powers in play go.
Okay.
You know, because she's the one who presented the Hawkeye information to her, and Eleanor is the one who hired Yelena. So by default, it was either way. We don't know what Yelena actually knows about Natasha's death. We don't know what the public actually knows about Natasha's death, because if they did it like a debriefing, Hawkeye would explain that Natasha sacrificed herself to get the Soul Stone.
Which if that's the case, what has been told to Yelena?
Exactly.
She killed. She because from Yelena's perspective, well, I guess it can be generalized, because she, in this conversation, she was saying, when Kate said, Clint saved the world, she's like, no, my sister saved the world. And it's like, okay, in what context do you mean? Do you just mean in the sense that she was part of the overall effort to save the world multiple times? Or do you mean specifically it was her sacrifice in this specific scenario with the Soul Stone that she saved the world? Like, what exactly does Yelena know? What you said, what does the public know? And these are questions. They need to be addressed. And I think Kevin Feige might address them. They should, at least.
I think they should, yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, that was one of our questions, post Endgame, was how was society like, or the characters that came back after the blip, or that got blipped back into existence? Like, how do they function back in? And I feel like you see sprinkles of that throughout all the different little Marvel shows. Like, oh, okay, this is what happened when the blip occurred, and this is the result when they come getting blipped back in.
Yeah. I would say the most we saw was like in Falcon and Winter Soldier. They had the whole refugee situation, oh yeah, that's probably the biggest plot device. Right. The national borders are now back up, so people can't travel between countries despite, that was the biggest one. So, but yeah, we don't know post blip, like, hey, this is what happened. You need to go to this class to pick yourself up on what happened in the last 5 years. Like this is like a to-do list. This is your blip re-entry program into the world. Right. Like Thanos, they all have a class on Thanos. Oh my God, Thanos 101. You gotta have a curriculum and syllabus on what exactly happened. Right, it's because it just sounds like someone is telling Yelena the wrong things, when maybe if she did a wiki search, she might see what actually happened. Assuming it's public information, I feel like it's just so weird that Kate presents that question to her. Like, you're being told that you need to go kill Clint Barton. You should question the person that is telling you Clint Barton needs to die. And I'm like, I hope that's not the first time that's come across Yelena's mind. I feel like Yelena as a character should be smart enough to ask that question on her own. Like, okay, this person's telling me Clint Barton killed Natasha, my sister, but is there context to this? Why are they telling me that Clint Barton killed my sister? What do they have to gain out of it? I feel like she would think about it. They gain killing of Hawkeye, but given her background as a Black Widow being used as espionage, right? It's like, hello, for your whole life you've been working for this evil dude, and now you're just gonna pick up a random, assassin assignment and just be like, oh yeah, sure. Oh, he killed my sister? Wait a minute, he killed my sister? I thought she sacrificed herself. That's what they said in the blip report. We need context. And so in the finale, Well, again, I guess she's not on the path. Just one conversation and some mac and cheese with Kate Bishop. She's no longer on the path, right? We in the finale, they still need closure,
right?
Because Hawkeye knows of Yelena,
Yes.
So that means Natasha has talked about her to him,
which I can believe.
I can believe that too. I can totally believe that. So they're gonna need closure where he explains and kind of maybe he hasn't come clean about what happened to the public because maybe he's just so full of remorse on what happened. So maybe this is his first time coming clean about what happened there. But we need that context, especially if she's no longer on this path of vengeance, because that was really easy. It was really easy. Like,
no, for real, it was. Oh man,
you're fired. I'm never hiring you for an assassination again. You're fired.
Terrible Black Widow. Terrible.
You let one little girl talk you out. You're done.
Ridiculous. Who's paying you? This is for money, clearly.
Right.
Also, before I forget, this is tying back into No Way Home a little bit, because you saw the mention, right?
I saw the mention. I did.
She was saying all the little places she wanted to go to in New York, and she's like, "Oh, the new and improved Statue of Liberty." And I'm like, "Oh, so the one that's being constructed in the No Way Home trailer with, I'm guessing that happens in the comics, right? They replaced the Statue of Liberty with Steve Rogers?
I don't know anything about that. I don't think that's a thing. I mean, I don't know.
That's so weird. I don't know.
but is the question, that means it's done in Hawkeye, right?
Oh, no, I took it as, I want to see it whenever it's done.
So it's okay. Yeah, I didn't know how to take it because, well, here's the thing. Hawkeye is clearly around Christmas time. Right. All we needed to know is just when Spider-Man No Way Home takes place.
I guess
we'll have confirmation of which one came first. Because if it comes after No Way Home, I'm guessing that statue might be done. But yes, the fact that they dropped the statue, that's too timely. They know we're all about to go watch No Way Home really soon. So that we'll be able to connect those dots.
No, for real. Yeah, that's, oh man, perfect timing. 24 hours. We'll be, let me see. I'd say we'll be at the theater. We'll be at the theater by then for No Way Home.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But what else this episode? Ronin coming back again. As Hawkeye as Ronin fighting Maya.
Right.
Fight was okay. Maya pulled out some cool tricks. She ejected the magazine from the pistol and used it as a projectile. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, what about your bullets?
Right.
Unless I'm assuming it was empty. Yeah, it definitely was empty.
Again,
honestly,
not much happens in these episodes. It's like
right. Yeah.
The Kate and Yelena conversation took up a good chunk, back and forth. Hawkeye has a conversation with his wife, and that was pretty short. And then he goes and talks to Grills, and then he's like, "Bam, I gotta go talk to Maya as Ronin, and I gotta beat some sense into her."
And it was weird, like the conversation that Clint and his wife had. It made it seem like they were building up to I don't know, that he was gonna do something else. I don't know. I thought he had some like extravagant plan because the way he talked to his wife, it was like, okay, I gotta do this. You know what I gotta do, right? She's like, you don't need my permission. Go.
Right.
End this.
Right. They're totally on the same page. Like,
and so I'm like, okay, so something's gonna happen, and then all he does is just say, "Stay away from my family," and then that's it. I don't know. Am I the only one that was expecting something else, like something extravagant that he was gonna pull?
I mean, it was almost like the wife, Laura, gave him this like, kill that bitch, take her out. They're not coming for our babies. She's done. Slice it. Like, but no, it was more like, let that bitch know Kingpin pointed you in the direction of her father. She needs to know the truth.
I guess she knows enough now. She's suspicious.
She is suspicious. Kazi.
Yazi.
Kazi. As Clint said, you're a doormat. You get walked on, and you don't get moved up. You know, you're always gonna be second fiddle. So of course you sell out Amaya's uncle, which I don't even. I guess he informed Kingpin, and Kingpin told Ronan. Is that how that worked?
I think, because I thought, he said, it was something involved with the informant and Kingpin, and because of that, Ronan knew, and then Ronan killed Kate's dad. I mean, right. Kate's dad, Maya's dad.
Maya's dad, right?
And that's basically it. I mean, all you need to know is that all the parties are involved. Right. Kazi's involved with the death. Kingpin's involved with the death. And that's all you need. Now Maya's on a revenge spree, which I guess we'll see how that resolves.
It's all going to culminate. It's all going to culminate in one mighty fashion. Hopefully it meshes well, and it's not like, multiple stories happening and they kind of all diverge in their own direction.
Right.
It has to come quite nicely.
I'm hoping so, because right after this we'll have her show, and actually, do we have a confirmation on what show exactly is next coming up?
We honestly do not. I want to say it's a toss-up between She-Hulk or Miss Marvel are the next two. One of those two is like dang near done. Like the Marvels, which it features Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, and Spectrum. What's her name? Rambo, yeah. In one film, but you need the Miss Marvel show before that movie comes out. One of those two shows I believe are next.
Okay.
But I think we'll see a string of movies. The movies are coming in next year. Like they kind of
they kind of pushed them out a little bit.
They did,
because first up we were gonna have Doctor Strange in February, but that got pushed to along with everything else.
They all got shifted terribly.
All of them.
Yeah.
But I think they're still in the same order though. They just pushed, like, once you push Strange, you push everything back, because Strange was gonna be February, I think. So now Strange is, I think, March, April. Actually, no, not March. It's like April, May, whatever.
Yeah, I don't even know. And then the Maya show's still in like more of like the planning stages. We
got a title card.
We only have a title card. Yeah, that's all we got.
Right. So I guess we'll see what happens. Do we think? I guess I'll end it on this note. Do we think? I feel like we won't, but do we think because we got Kingpin, we're gonna get Charlie Cox at all?
Well, Kevin Feige's already said Charlie Cox, he's the MCU's Daredevil. I think it's too much for him to appear in this show. This is Hawkeye's show at heart. This is Kate Bishop's show. This is either the passing of the torch or just establishing the mentor program, the Avengers, young little brothers, little sisters mentor program. To bring in Daredevil here, I think would be too much, especially in a finale. Maybe at the very end. Maybe he could
like a little tease.
Just a little tease. Yeah, that would be fine. But I want them to end this on Hawkeye's show. Again, this was all about the rebranding. We should get the new suits in the finale. That's right. Grill said they had the new suits. Again, I hope they don't take down Kingpin. In one fell swoop. I'd like to see him play more of a puppeteer role moving forward in the more grounded parts of the MCU.
Right.
But I think Daredevil is going to show up where he's been rumored to show up, which is Peter Parker's lawyer.
Peter Parker's lawyer, of course.
Right.
That's going to happen.
So I feel that's what's gonna happen, right?
Okay, so leave it at Kingpin for this. We'll see what happens with him and the rest of the cast for Hawkeye episode 5. Hawkeye. Next week, the grand finale. Can they deliver on all the fronts? Because you got a bunch of characters to deal with. You got Echo, Kingpin, Eleanor, Jack Duquesne. And
even the tracksuits, man.
Even the track. Oh my God, there's a lot. I can't imagine them wrapping all this up in 40 minutes.
Wrapping it up. It's a Christmas show.
How perfect. It's on. Isn't Wednesday the 23rd? Right?
It's not Christmas.
It's not. I know.
It's the 22nd. It'll be the 22nd.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. But all right. Yeah. There you have it, folks. Hawkeye episode 5. Keeping up the pace, keeping up the I guess the excitement that we've been having so far. I feel like it's been pretty steady since I think it was like episode 3 I think it was episode 3 when it started really finding its own footing as to what type of show it wanted to be. And hopefully the finale delivers. We've seen it a lot with a lot of these Marvel shows where their finale, like they might have strong buildup, but then their finale, it just kind of farts in the wind. I'm looking at you, Falcon Man and Soldier Boy. I'm looking at you.
But some of these finales have delivered.
Yes.
Loki
with slow buildup, but a very strong finale.
And then some of these shows have just been kind of great all the way through. Looking at you, Wanda. Wanda was a pretty smooth ride all the way through. But I've been enjoying Hawkeye. We still got last episode. Hopefully it delivers. And I hope it's not a rushed affair with all of these characters that need to be resolved and taken care of and left in the wind for whatever next MCU quest they got on their list of activities to do. So we will see what happens from there. The next time you guys hear from us, we are going to be tackling Spider-Man No Way Home. And we had to say it, it's the night before and before the movie premieres, so you guys are going to hear it from us first. Hopefully we'll see how late the night runs and if we could burn the midnight oil. But all right, we're going to leave it there, guys. Let us know what you think of episode 5 of Hawkeye. Do you think everything's going at a reasonable pace? Do you want to see a little bit more of Kingpin instead of that CCTV footage that we saw leaked at the very end? And what are your expectations for the finale? What do you want to see? And let us know what your predictions are moving forward. We got one more week to the final episode, and we got time. We got time for crackpot theories before the brewing starts. I don't know why I put on that accent, but anyways, I am your Yonkō host, DrJaceAttorney, fellow Yonkō GrandMasterHoop, signing off. Catch you next time, guys, on Spider-Man No Way Home. Peace.